This is a video response about Jackson Pollock. It's question 2. How does this film describe macho modernism? Who else fits into this mold besides Pollock and Hemingway? How do their works express any aspect of this? Who is Lee Krasner and how does she cope with this? And does Pollock's death count as an example of manifestation of macho modernism? So how does this film describe macho modernism? Basically, what I got from the film, one of the speakers that was presented in the film, she said how many of the men felt like because they were artists that they weren't manly enough, or doing something like art, like painting or writing a poem was soft. It made them soft in a way, so they had to overcompensate to just show just how manly, just how macho that they really are. And she said that Jackson Pollock was an example of this. I guess his heavy drinking and him driving the cars drunk and just acting like a jerk was just his way of asserting his manhood. Who else fits into this mode? I did a bit of research. So Pollock, who else fits into this mode besides Pollock and Hemingway? I would say Marlon Brando. And I'm not going to say him. He definitely was the macho type, but I feel like he was most successful when he was playing that macho type. An example is in the Streetcar Named Desire. His character was that macho guy, the sensitive macho but still very tough guy. When he played these type of characters, he got a response. America loved that. Even when he played in The Wild One, the movie, the Wild One, people love that caricature. It's just a part of our culture. We love that macho jerk, that handsome but rugged guy. How do their works express any aspect of this? I would say Jackson Pollock's, I feel like because he decided to do things differently, like I'm going to put my canvas on the floor. I'm going to use my paint, my brush differently than how all of those other painters, use their tools. I'm going to use it differently. And also in the film it said how Native Americans, he was inspired by Native American sand art. So, the whole cowboy and Indian type thing played into that macho, very masculine style that he was trying to portray. I feel like that had an influence on his art. So the fact that it was on the floor and the fact that he used his brush differently than most of the other artists, that's how that macho modernist ideology played into his art. Does Pollock's death count as an example of manifestation of macho modernism? I feel like it does. His mistress, or the lady he was having an affair with, she talked about how if he had died from like natural causes or something boring, it wouldn't have been as glamorous. It wouldn't have been as iconic. It wouldn't have made him and his paintings as iconic as they were. And it wouldn't be as exciting. His life wouldn't be as exciting if he would have died out just some old man. So I think it does. And I still feel like that live fast, die young theme is very popular in our culture. Why did the good die young? Like all of the artists, like Amy Winehouse or any of the artists that have died, we say, they died at the top of their game or they died at the pinnacle. Maybe not Amy Winehouse, but the artists that die young, we kind of just, it's like I think she said the romance of the great artists, basically. Who is Lee Krasner and how does she cope with this? Lee Krasner was a painter. She was an artist and she actually married Pollock. They were still married when he had an affair with that woman who was also an artist. She strategically sold Pollock's paintings in a way that people would pay more for them. So she did it in a way so that his prices of his paintings were more expensive after his death. And after she started doing that, basically the whole market changed. She changed the way things were done with marketing and selling paintings. So that's it.